Hi, I'm Myra.
And I'm Tressa. We are fancy marketing people with Union, a Wyoming-based telecommunication company. Yes, Wyoming really does exist. We proudly serve the Rocky Mountain region.
On this podcast, we will feature businesses, organizations, nonprofits, and influential people from Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming.
Our mission is to highlight those who inspire their communities daily.
We believe this makes us truly authentic because a journey of 1,000 miles always begins with a single step.
So would you do me the honor?
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Oop. Getting wild in here.
You just took a whole new meeting to boom shake the room.
Boom,
Tressa.
shake the room,
Yeah.
Myra. Oh, we're so entertaining.
Yeah. It's really funny because
Headphones are, sorry, I have to adjust. There we go.
There you go. Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, here I am.
Back up a little. Sorry.
Oh, I think he's telling me back there. Better?
So you really shook the room. You threw
Better?
your headphones off. You threw your mic out.
I mean, it's getting wild
Yeah.
this morning for a Monday.
Yeah. So our Google Home Nest thing, Nola can play music. She can request Google to play through our Spotify. Well, the other day, she just sat there and listened to all of our podcasts. And I'm like, please turn that off. Like, I don't think I can listen to another second of my voice. Like, I'm going to delete it. And Blake was like, well, at least she has your voice forever. I'm like, yeah, because this is there.
It's
till the
timeless.
end of time.
That's
Yeah. So it was really funny. But speaking of Blake, so I don't even eat like chili. That's just not my thing. You know me. I eat like a 4-year-old.
Like a child.
Yeah. And he made white chicken chili in sorry, Mike, but in like a Dutch oven. It's a Dutch oven. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the Le Creuset, the fancy Dutch ovens. And literal tears fell down my face. It was so good. Like, I don't even know what sorcery I put into my mouth. I shouldn't be shocked because
he's pretty good.
yeah, he like moonlights as a secret chef.
Yeah.
And I do put in orders like it is real. like, hey, you want, well, gosh, I don't even know, carbonara. And he'll be like, yeah, you know. So I put in my request, or like chicken parm is a common one.
That's his specialty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, oh my gosh, it was so good. And when I was watching him make it, I'm like, this looks disgusting. Like, there's no way this is going to turn out. Like, this is going to be a flop. And then I'm going to have to like...
You're going to have chicken nuggets later.
Or like a peanut butter sandwich. I don't know. And no, he added the cream. And it just... I couldn't even believe it. And it was crazy because it smelled like a Pillsbury, like a flaky Grand biscuit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like canned biscuits. It smelled like that. Just like heaven. And then when I ate it, it tasted, I can't even explain it.
I mean, it brought tears to your eyes.
It really did. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think I'm well. It could be my hormones, but it also could be just how good he really is. So
I'm impressed. You should have brought some so I could have tried it.
I don't
without
want
the
to.
pregnancy hormones.
Yeah, I don't want to bring it. I don't
taste
want to share it. I'm just kidding. I almost did. I was like, do we have enough? But he rationed it out for his lunches. So this is what happens. So I might request things, but leftovers get deemed for his lunch.
Yeah.
So at lunch, I'm forced to fend for myself.
Yeah.
So,
eat out every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I have to like go to the Subway. I mean, there's nothing else here. Or, you know, the new
salad
bar.
place.
Yeah. And get soup there.
Yeah.
I'm a soup person.
They have really good soup there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can roll with it. They do have wraps now.
Yeah.
I eat like a child, and I really wanted this one because I don't like sauce, but I was willing to try the sauce. And then she hadn't made them. So then I left.
Wow. Well,
It was a bummer.
maybe this week.
I had courage to really try new things, and it did not.
Ketchup?
No, never.
It's a trigger for Myra.
No, I hate ketchup. I would rather eat gravel, I think, than even like smell ketchup. It's just not for me.
I was cleaning out my fridge yesterday, trying to make sure sometimes my condiments get out of date, right? And there's only 2 of us. And somehow, when I ordered groceries, I bought a thing of ketchup. It's about this big.
Oh my gosh.
It's got this much out of it. It'll be down the road.
It'll
here
last
soon.
you a lifetime.
Yeah, except for it's going to expire long before that.
Condiments do get out of control.
Yeah.
Like I only allow a few. So there's ranch. I've allowed ranch to happen in my house.
That's nice of you.
Yeah, I accept ranch. It's okay. But even like our salad dressings and things, just
They need to start making like little micro ones.
yeah.
For, like you just need a little
'Cause you-
shot here and
Yeah.
there. Like a shot of
Shot
ketchup
of
on
ketchup.
your hot dog once
Yeah.
or twice a year.
Yeah. For the people who like don't have a bunch of children,
Yeah.
or who have children who aren't allowed to eat ketchup, you need just a
Exactly.
little shot.
Yeah.
Maybe we should promote that. Get your shot of ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at us. We already got your branding. Can somebody make this for us already?
Yeah, Heinz, we're out there. We're here for you. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well, we'll get to our
ready
guest.
to get started? Yeah.
So we have the one and only Trevor Wilson. He is the commissioner for the Wyoming High School Activities Association. Welcome, Trevor.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I was enjoying listening to your girls' talk about condiments and some sort of, I didn't catch it. Did you say wild chicken chili or just chicken
Oh, it's
chili?
white. It's my accent.
Yeah.
I have
Oh,
a
there
long,
you go.
there's a
So that-
long in there.
I know you have it.
Yeah,
I
so
gotcha.
it could
Okay.
be wild. It could be, I don't even know. We'll call
Gotcha.
it wild
I just
chicken.
didn't know I didn't know what a wild chicken was. I mean, I assumed what it was, but no, I'm with you.
Yeah, in Mountain View, we actually do like catch and release. So we just grab our chickens. I'm just kidding.
Whatever you gotta do.
Yeah.
A new meaning to free range.
We're going to have to, now that we've talked about this white chicken chili, we're going to have to include the recipe on the transcript.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Keith.
Yeah, make sure you edit how I pronounce it, Keith.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That is funny.
It should be called wild chicken. It was that good. So
You can name it whatever you
Sounds
want.
yummy.
yeah.
Trevor, so it's great to have you here today. Do you want to just start telling us a little bit about your role with Wyoming High School Sports Association?
Okay. Well, this is my first year as commissioner of the Wyoming High School Activities Association.
Congrats.
Took over thank you. Took over for Ron Laird officially July 1st. So I was Ron's assistant for 18 years. So I've been in this office for a long time, and there's a lot of things we do, but it's hard to explain in a way. We run all of our culminating events, from whatever it might be. Started with golf this year, and then tennis, marching band, cross country, swimming and diving for girls, and we just had that as well as state volleyball this past weekend. And then our final fall event is state championship football, which is in Laramie on the 10th and 11th of November.
Yeah, that'll be right around the corner.
Yeah.
I believe football.
It's a
This
eventful.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I know. I was making a checklist of things happening in the fall because we're pretty slammed in the fall too. It's just you're getting in before the snow falls and things
Yeah.
are changing, and so you're trying to. If you got to travel somewhere, it happens all right together. And I
Yeah.
couldn't believe I was checking things off in November, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's so crazy to think that it's the state football championships. And you said
Yeah.
it's this weekend, right?
Yes, ma'am. This Friday and Saturday in
Wow.
Laramie.
So do you
Time
coordinate
flies.
like 2A, 3A, and 4A? Do they all go there to play their state championship?
Yeah, so
Okay.
on Friday we have 2A plays at noon, and then 3A plays at 3:00 p.m. And then on Saturday we have 6-man at 10 a.m., 9-man at 1 p.m., and then our final game is 4A at 4 p.m. on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So 5 championship games in 2 days. It's pretty cool, and the University of Wyoming does a great job of hosting us.
That's really cool that they do that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I do too. I
Yeah.
bet it's exciting for the kids to go play at the stadium there.
The kids love it because for 90% of them, that'll be the last time they ever get to play in there. So the kids absolutely love it. And, when we first went, I thought that, wow, you're not going to hear any fans or anything. But even our 6-man game, if you have 500 fans from each side, it's loud down there in the field. So it's really a cool atmosphere, and our kids absolutely love it.
Yeah, all those wild mamas.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can hear them outside of the stadium.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so cool. So With that, those in listenerland that are not familiar with Wyoming, it is geographically very spaced out. So something that I thought was really interesting when I moved here, my husband was coaching at the time, and he's like, I'm going to go play a game in Big Piney. And I'm like, okay. And it's like 2 hours. I'm like, why? Because I was used to a whole different system where the school, if you went an hour, I think maybe 45 minutes to an hour was max. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going that far. So I find that so cool about the state, where you have this really long travel time, but then because of that, there are different opportunities for regionals or different types of tournaments to be held in these different locations throughout the whole state. So it's not always going to be on the east side or the west side, or it's not always going to be up really high up north. It kind of adds, I know some places are like special locations, like the tennis courts. Like I zoomed in over that high school and saw there's like 400 tennis courts. I'm like, okay, this is why this is here every year. But how are these tournaments and these regional locations decided? Like, how is it tossed up between those people in those divisions, or those not the people, but the schools in those divisions?
Yeah, so our state events, we have a bid process for those. So typically, and there could be others that bid, but our big tournaments, volleyball, wrestling, basketball, and track and field, those have been held here in Casper, but it is through a bid process. So we allow other communities to bid those out, but some towns just don't have the facilities that you need to host 4 classes of volleyball, for example, in one facility, like the event center does. But any other event, 2A, 3A, 4A golf, that's kind of a rotation basis. So we have a rotation in our handbook that each school gets the opportunity to host those. And then the regional tournaments, those are set up by our schools, and they all have a rotation. So, for example, in the 3A West Conference, where Mountain View and Lyman are, there's a rotation set up that every X amount of years, whether it's 8 years or 7 years, you might get a chance to host regional volleyball or regional wrestling or whatever it might be, regional track and field. But those are set up on a rotation basis by our schools.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we only have, like Myra was speaking to, we have 70 high schools, and we're spread out all over the place. So, our schools travel. Coming to Casper, if you're in Cokeville or Star Valley or Jackson, it's 6 hours to get here, and we're kind of in the center of the state. So our schools are used to travel, and so are our officials. So, but it's a great place to be.
Yeah, we talked about that. I love that he said it takes 6 hours, because everybody in Wyoming, from Wyoming, we don't talk about mileage. We talk about hours, right? Yeah. It's how long is it going to take to get there? And we all kind of know destination-wise what that looks like. So, Trevor, what inspired you to work in this field?
Well, I was a teacher coach in a former life. I was a wrestling and football coach at a couple high schools in South Dakota. And then I coached at a Division II college, NCAA Division II college in South Dakota, coached football and wrestling. And then my first stint as far as an administrator of sports was in Cody. And I was assistant principal and activities director there for 5 years before I came here. So I love sports, and this gives me and activities as well, but this gives me the opportunity to be able to be a part of that basically as a full-time job. So I think this is the best job on the planet. Get to deal with kids for the most part. It's during the week or during the year, we sit in our office for the most part and organize things. So the best part about it is when we get out and attend those state events. Like, for example, we just had state volleyball or state cross country, whatever it is, to get out and watch our kids perform at their best. And that's the best part about our job, or my job.
That sounds like you've been able to combine your passion into your career. There's not much better than that, right?
Yeah. No, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I got to give a quick shout out, Myra, because you mentioned state volleyball. So we are located in Mountain View, Wyoming, and the Mountain View girls won state volleyball yesterday or Saturday, I believe. So congratulations.
Sure did.
Yeah. I saw the parade go through town yesterday.
Did they honk?
They had a nice team.
Oh, yeah, they honked. They had the fire trucks out,
man.
the honkathon. Yeah.
Is this normal in other communities too? Can you speak to that, Trevor? Do other people do these honkathons in their communities? Yeah. Okay. Is it a Wyoming thing?
Smaller communities.
Okay.
It's common in other states, but it's more of a small town. Like not a lot goes on in Casper if they win. There's not a lot. I mean, they celebrate, but it's not as big a deal. But for small communities like Mountain View or Lyman or Cokeville or whatever it might be over there, it's a pretty big deal when your team wins a state championship and you can come through town. And when I was in Cody, we had the fire trucks going and everybody's, I mean, it's just a huge event because, you don't get to do that every year, every week. So, those small communities really celebrate their teams.
Yeah, I really think it's neat to see the passion, one, to do the honkathons and to celebrate in this capacity, but also the passion of the parents and the dedication that it takes for them to travel all over the state to watch their children, or a grandparent or aunt, uncle, guardian, whatever it may be, or a friend's child. The dedication that it takes to do that, I'm always amazed by it. I think it is so cool. And it's not even, just at the high school level, it's in the middle school or in Wawa. Wawa sounds so crazy to people, but Wawa's the youth wrestling, right? I'm saying that.
Pee-wee sports? I don't know what
I don't know what you call that. Yeah. Maybe you could help me here since I sound like a goof. But
bail us out, Trevor.
Yeah, help, SOS.
No, you guys are doing great. And the parents, or parents in general, are fully committed. And it's from when their kids are in elementary, 3 to 5 years old, until they're a senior in high school. And maybe if they're lucky, they can continue on. But there's a huge commitment to be a parent and have your kids involved with sports and activities. And I always tell people, I'm a little older, but I used to complain a little bit when my son and daughter were doing that. And it was every weekend. It was just relentless. And now I wish I was back doing that, so time goes too fast. So I just tell parents, enjoy it. Don't push your kids, but just enjoy the journey and it'll be over before you know it.
Yeah. Well, you're also, don't hate me for bringing this up, but you're also a really cool parent because your kid is doing it on a larger stage. Do you get to travel to those games as often?
I mean, I still have a job. And,
you're still a normal person. Is that what you're saying?
I'd like to go to all of them, but there's just no way to do that. So I've attended 2 of his games so far, and I'll go to one more in December in Jacksonville because it's in warm. Jacksonville.
It's
in
warm.
December.
Perfect. Yeah. And it'll be a great game because the Jags are a little crazy right now. They're doing it. Good. Yeah.
So if the Bengals happen to make the playoffs, I'll try to hit some of those. So, but very fortunate, and it's been a blessing. And Logan's stayed healthy and had a lot of good people around him, and he has the best support system on the planet with Wyoming, because being we only had one university, everybody knows who he is, and being from Casper, so it's pretty cool. And he's very humbled, and I am as well, that people treat him the way they do. So
yeah, I was watching the game then I went to bed. I had to ask Tressa, I'm like, tell me who won, so I don't sound stupid. But I went to bed. This daylight savings, wherever we're at, is,
by the way, the Bengals won.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, thank you. But when I was watching it, every time I hear them say his name, if I'm ever watching him play, and I always think of you. And I'm just like, how cool. Like, I don't even think of him. I just think of you. But I've been fortunate to build a relationship with you over the last few years with our partnership. So I'm like, go Trevor.
I thought it was fun last night because they were playing the Bills. So Josh Allen was also a quarterback here in Wyoming. And I was like, neither one's my team. So I was like, I don't care who wins, because one Wyoming boy is going to win at some point. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, Josh is a good kid. Well, I guess he's not a kid anymore, but Logan and Josh still stay in touch. And, last year when the Damar Hamlin thing, that accident or incident took place, Josh and Logan, Logan was reaching out to Josh, making sure he was okay. So, I mean, that was a horrific deal, and it's getting better, obviously, because Damar's doing okay. But that was a tough one. But Logan and Josh are good friends, and obviously they're competitors. And last night, thankfully, the Bengals got the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really neat. Do people that know, especially kids, do they look at you as who you are, or do they just see, oh man, this is Logan's dad?
Yeah, most of them it's Logan's dad,
Yeah.
which is okay. I've been called a lot worse, but
That's funny.
Logan's dad is okay, and it's fine with me. I used to have my own identity,
Yeah.
but
Hey,
now I know.
with me, you do though, because it's the
With
opposite
you,
for
I
me.
do.
I'm
Yeah.
over here like,
Thanks,
oh
Myra.
man, yeah, that's Logan. I'm like, that's Trevor's son. I don't even.
Yeah,
He's wonderful and all, but let's go, Trevor. Yeah. So
thank you. Yeah,
I'll
it's
keep
very
your
surreal.
identity. I'll keep your identity going for you.
That
That's
sounds
right.
good.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
If you ever get off track, just call Myra.
Yeah, I got you.
That's right. Myra will straighten me out.
Yeah.
So back to your association. Do you have any specific mission or goals? Like, do you guys have a vision statement that you could talk about, or a mission statement?
We do, and all of that it's in our handbook. Basically, we provide educational opportunities through athletics and activities, and provide those opportunities, as many as we can, for kids to be a part of that. Sometimes some people lose focus that, we're not about trying to get a son or a daughter a scholarship. We're more about providing educational opportunities for kids. And, because not everybody's going to earn a scholarship. In fact, very few are going to earn a scholarship. And a lot of high school athletes that are participating in activities are doing it for a social reason. I mean, they like to be with their friends, and their friends are playing, whatever, volleyball or out for drama or whatever it might be, and they just want to be a part of that. So that's the best part about high school activities in general.
Is there a sport that you wish was happening in Wyoming that's not?
I don't know about wish, because we offer a lot.
You do offer a lot, yeah.
And we just added softball and girls wrestling in the last 3 years. So we keep up with that, but we only have so many students, especially in communities like Mountain View or Lyman. There's only so many kids that can play or participate in sports and activities. So I wouldn't say that there's anything out there. I mean, there's been a little talk about high school baseball, but that's gone back and forth. And for the most part, I think our Legion places are doing a good job, and our schools really haven't wanted to add that. But I have not heard anything else about any other sport that might be coming soon.
Trevor, what do we do anything with esports in the state? That's been a topic at some of the conferences I've gone to recently.
Yeah, we do not at this time, and that has been a topic. There are some states that do sponsor esports. We do not at this time. We have in our policy, if we have 8 schools, meaning superintendents or school boards that come forward saying they would like to sponsor esports, then our board would consider it. But at this time, most of those are just clubs, which is okay. And we have not addressed it as an association yet, but it might be coming.
Okay. Yeah, it was interesting at a conference I was at a few weeks ago. A few telecoms have done sponsored esports tournaments, right? And so I think that's something we're going to consider possibly doing next spring or summer, just because, there are those kids who aren't involved in football and baseball and basketball, and to give them a sense of community as well and support. So I was just curious what your thoughts were there.
It's very popular, that's for sure.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, so with that too, then that would go, I guess, too, for an activity. So if there was, or were a group of schools that came together who wanted to add in more STEM opportunities, for example, or different activities beyond, I'm trying to think of how to say this, beyond sports, because I mean, you do state thespian and state journalism, and but in that science space, is that something that has been talked about, or that there's interest in, or?
we've addressed like Science Zone. There was another science. I don't remember the name, but maybe 5 years ago. And it's more of it really didn't fit as an activity. I mean, it's obviously a great event, but it's more of an academic thing. So we have not really looked into it any further. And our schools really haven't. I think they've just taken it on and expect it to just be a club type thing. But it seems like a pretty cool, I don't know a lot about it, but at the time it seemed like a pretty cool opportunity for kids. It just didn't fit with as far as being an activity at that time or a sponsored activity.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does.
Is there any specific challenges or opportunities that you guys face today?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges is a shortage of referees in a lot of our sports. And, it's not just a Wyoming issue, it's a nationwide issue, but we need to start getting more folks involved. And the number one reason people don't want to get is because of poor sportsmanship. And it's usually not with our kids and usually not with our coaches, but it's the people sitting in the stands. And we address it and we always talk about it, but until we get a handle on that, it's going to be tough to recruit officials for all sports because they don't want to go through that. They don't want to get screamed at or yelled at because they might have missed a call or maybe even got it right, but that person didn't agree with it. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have to face. And again, it's not just our issue; it's a nationwide issue.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've heard him talking about utilizing AI, like in baseball, like having the umpire not be a person, right, but AI. And I was like, that takes some of the originality out of it, right? We are humans. There's going to be calls that, they're going to miss, but that's part of the beauty of the game, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
so. You're saying bad calls make games fun.
Sometimes it does, right?
If you're the other team, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they're human.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
We don't want to take the human aspect out of everything. I mean, at least I don't.
No, yeah, I agree.
I don't want AI to take over everything.
The professional leagues, obviously, they're way up there and they have a lot more money, and those games, technically mean a lot more. So they may go to that someday. I know college might be a little bit behind them, but we are high school sports.
Yeah.
And our folks have full-time jobs, and at 5 o'clock they get off and they go referee a game. And we'll never, well, I shouldn't say never, not while I'm around, we see AI in high school sports. It might be there in 50 years, but that won't be my worry at that time.
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today. Not today.
So I was going to ask this question, but how can parents and community members support this organization? One of the things I heard you say is go, be present, but be respectful.
Yeah, I mean, just support your son or daughter. I mean, that's all you need to do. The referees, they might make a mistake or they might not, but just support your kid. And if they do want to get involved with in refereeing, call our office and we can get them headed in the right direction because, I mean, especially if they've been around in a while, they certainly have a knowledge background in that sport or activity that we could certainly use as many people that want to step up, but it's not easy. It requires a little training, a little knowledge, and thick skin, I guess, so to speak.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. That thick skin. That's the little asterisk at the bottom. Footnote.
That's
thick
right.
skin. Don't even walk in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we're here at the end of the podcast, and so we just want to ask you one last question. How do you stay authentic?
Authentic? I think sometimes I'm honest to a fault, maybe. I believe in sharing my values and my opinion with people, whether they agree or not. But at the end of the day, I certainly do listen to people and value their opinion as well. But you usually don't have to guess where I stand on something or what I believe or how I feel. And I just have been, grateful that I'm in this position and just do what I do, just keep my head down, work hard, and hopefully good things happen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Trevor, and thank you for the partnership that you provide us with Union and your association. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, and we appreciate our partnership as well. And if there's anything that we can do or to make it better, and vice versa, we'll stay in contact. But we appreciate everything what Union Wireless does for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Until next time.
Stay authentic.